drives you in business?
Being able to affect change, being able to take on big challenges with big risks associated with it, often personal risk, and complex challenges. You had like 5 really tricky decisions to make every day and 2 impossible decisions to make every week. So make a fast decision and then assess it really quickly. And if you got it wrong, then adapt.
But a lot of people jump from big organisations to become entrepreneurs. What sort of advice would you give those types of personalities and people?
Back yourself, take risk. Don't necessarily stick with the norm.
Okay, definition of success. What does it look like for you?
Definition of success.
Private markets investments are investors can find some real value. I find the best way to learn is learn from someone who's done it before and given it a go. Hi, I'm Travis Miller, host of Grow Your Wealth podcast. Thanks for joining me here today. On these podcast sessions, we're going to talk through how certain investors have navigated the bumpy road of investing, whether it be through business or investments in general. Thanks for listening today. Welcome back to the Grow Your Wealth podcast. I'm your host, Travis Miller, and today we're joined by a truly inspiring guest, Jaki Virtue, born in Kiama, New South Wales. Jaki grew up in a family of entrepreneurs with her mum running opal shops and her dad an adventure travel company. Jaki has more than 25 years experience in the financial services sector, more than half of which is focused on settings and executing on key strategic and transformational agendas for investment banks in Sydney, London and Hong Kong. Jaki has a proven track record of driving and effective organisational change initiatives, particularly through periods of regulatory challenge and market uncertainty, leveraging a strong collaborative mindset balanced with an ability to deliver in high-pressure situations against aggressive timelines. She's highly skilled in all aspects of financial management and budgeting, performance improvements, performance and reward, as well as leadership and people management. Jaki is known for incredible leadership and ability to galvanise teams. We're excited to delve into Jaki's journey and learn from experiences in leadership, problem solving, and driving success. Let's dive in. Thanks for coming on, Jaki.
No, it's a pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
Now, how about we start at the beginning? Give us a summary of who you are and what you're currently getting up to in the day job.
Well, as you pointed out, I was born in Kiama.
Yep.
We moved up to Sydney when I was about 5. That was really to go to quite an alternative school in Turramurra called Umbilico.
Yep.
I'm one of 3 children. My parents have interesting backgrounds. My mum was the daughter of, she was born in Papua New Guinea.
Gotcha.
Her mother was the first woman to walk the Kokoda Trail, not for pleasure, but because they needed to get to the other side to where they were setting up their home.
Wow.
For my grandfather, who was district commissioner. They lived on the side of an extinct volcano, which turned out wasn't.
Yeah.
So blew the side out and took out my grandfather and my mum's brother.
Gotcha.
So she came back to Sydney, just the 2 of them. An incredible role model, as you sort of pointed out, for an entrepreneurial spirit that wasn't dampened by that loss, and despite sort of profound fear associated with that, has become one of the most fearless people that I know. And my dad was just an avid traveller, an adventurer, and so their business has actually evolved from those 2 passions, and so quite entrepreneurial and free-spirited.
That's pretty impressive. Did you ever get back to Kiama?
Absolutely, actually. It's become our favourite beach, and it's just coincidental that sort of I was there until 5, but it's our kids love it. You can take the train down and just hop off and go to a rented beach house.
Did you ever say, Mum, why did we leave?
I think so, to go to a hippie school.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, now talk us through education. So Turramurra, so it was the hippie school, what you call it, and presumably you went through back in a more traditional system.
I did. So we're in the non-traditional system.
Yep.
And then my sister, just before, probably in about 5th grade, convinced me that it would be really cool to wear a uniform and do homework. And so that migrated me out of the alternative school into a mainstream public school.
Yep.
Interestingly, because the alternative school just basically let you learn what you wanted to learn and nothing else, I hadn't really learnt to write, necessarily read. I'd done a lot of maths, and so sort of hit primary school without being able to spell or write or anything like that. So, but interesting, young kids are adaptable. You catch up, and English ended up being probably one of my better subjects. So then left North Turramurra Primary and moved across into Coringa High School, which is still up in North Turramurra.
Yep. No, I got you. And then uni?
Uni, I started
post-high school.
Yeah. It was post-high school. I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
The careers counsellors at a government school at the time were not particularly helpful. Didn't really have those sort of different sort of role models in the school in terms of parents that you came across and the different things. So I thought it would be a good idea to do PE teaching.
Hey,
there wasn't a lot of thought in that. And quickly realised that, and it was quite an instrumental lesson actually, because if you're not passionate about something and it's not in your wheelhouse, don't do it.
Yep.
That's even more important when you're dealing with children.
Yeah.
And so I had sort of a serendipitous moment where one of my uni friends was actually Kitty Flanagan, the great comedian.
Yeah.
And she also didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
We all know where her sweet spot was. And so we promised each other that we'd finish the 4-year degree. We got through 1 year and then she went out and did what she was doing and I hopped over into finance and accounting, which I'm better suited to.
Yeah. Were you good at sport? Is that what brought on PE? Did you do a lot of sport as a kid or?
I did do a lot of sport as a kid.
Yeah.
I did a lot of netball and cross-country running, which I really enjoyed. But that wasn't the motivation for doing the PE. I had this very odd, didn't understand how businesses worked.
Yeah.
My dad was running this adventure travel company. There was sort of the potential to take that over from him after a period of time. And for some reason, I thought that would be a natural segue from PE teaching into an adventure travel, which it's not.
I guess sport travel maybe.
Maybe business would have been better for that too.
Okay, and then into the career, because we know where you are now, but if you take it from, went into finance, study finance. What was the first sort of finance-related?
First finance-related job was Arthur Andersen in tax division.
That's great.
And one of the rationales for that is because shows my age. There wasn't a lot of graduate programs for investment banks then. I know I wanted to go into investment banking, and so where's the best place to start? Probably getting that tax grounding and understanding how that all works. And so that was actually one of the rare deliberate things that I've done.
So you already knew you wanted to get in banking. That's pretty good. You went from the hippie school to
PE teaching,
maybe early 20s, knowing you sort of wanted to get in banking.
Yeah.
A lot of people went through that career path too, Arthur Andersen.
Yeah, that's right. And it's surprising. There's a lot of alumni that I do know, but even sort of hearing from various people that actually it was their starting point.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of members of our board at Soul Pats, I think, that started out there as well.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're enjoying this, please subscribe on whatever platform you're using. It helps us build a community. We want to educate investors, and this is what it's all about. And so, obviously, we worked together for a number of years. And how did you end up in the banking world? So
it was reasonably deliberate. How do you then segue from Arthur Andersen Tax into banking? There was literally back in the days when you advertised roles in the Financial Review.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
There was an advertisement for a financial modeler at Schroders Corporate Finance.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And so I thought, I can do that. Well, I can't because I didn't know anything about financial modelling, but I rocked up for the interview and thankfully there was an ultimate colleague that interviewed it for me. I think he was a very competent financial modeller.
Yeah.
Clearly I wasn't, but he was quite sympathetic and probably figured that I might be able to learn it. So despite the fact that I had no capabilities in that area, gave me a shot.
Most of the younger listeners are probably wondering why I didn't get on the internet and look for a job.
Yeah.
It was funny, the old AFR, wasn't it? It was Fridays, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Fridays. Yeah, and so the paper got fatter and the advertisements got bigger.
Very good. And then maybe just touch on what you're up to today. We've sort of done a bit of a backstory.
Yeah. Well, along my sort of career journey, sort of came across this wonderful role called Chief Operating Officer.
Yep.
And so have always sort of pursued that sort of in the last probably 15 years. And we had gone offshore for about 7 years. Coming back, knew that those COO roles are hard to find. Found myself in the domestic retail banks doing sort of similar things.
Yeah.
But then I was introduced to Soul Pats by an ex-Deutsche colleague actually.
Yeah.
And went, wow, this is a really interesting business. And so the opportunity came about to be able to join that company.
Yeah.
And it's astonishing. Sort of, you do your due diligence and you try and understand the business. And what you don't understand is truly what the culture is. You can ask people and you can get an understanding of it.
Yeah.
But once you're actually in the organization, that's when it hits you. The only thing that had come close to me in that sort of culture, the entrepreneurialism, the care, sort of the long-term outlook was Deutsche actually. And I figured I would never see that again. And I found myself in Soul Pat's expecting it to be good, but not expecting it to be what it actually is.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's impressive because the time we worked together at Deutsche, it was a powerhouse, right?
Exactly.
Pre-GFC. I kind of even during GFC post, but pre-GFC, particularly in fixed income,
exactly.
there wasn't a second, third or fourth in that era.
They were
So
hungry, entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
There was a fast pace about them.
Yeah.
They were leaders in the market, and so I genuinely assumed that I would never have that again. It was just one of those special points in time.
Yeah, interesting. You talk about the COO role as a business founder and CEO. The COO is so critical because you don't think about it when you're working in a bank, right? But putting systems and process and project management, it's not something a CEO always thinks about, right? I think about big ideas and then how do we backfill it? But if it's not backfilled in a scalable manner, it causes problems down the track. So it's just a critical role in the organisation, but you don't realise until you need to rely on a COO to put things in place.
Yeah, that's quite true. And it's similar the way that I've always thought about it. You have your CEO or you have, sort of your product developers or whoever's sort of client facing. Their job is to run fast, run hard, innovate, and the execution can be done in the background. You want them to keep innovating and keep being entrepreneurial. So how you can support that and enable it, I just love doing.
And often that person doesn't have the skill set to understand how you backfill something.
Yeah, sure.
So it's critical.
Yeah.
Okay, on to a couple of career aspects around people who have influenced you. Can be anything from, sounds like your parents were very influential with their approach to life and business. But is there a number of people you can name?
My parents sure were quite influential in terms of my outlook on life, in terms of taking risks, working hard, making sure that you have integrity, drive, resilience. Then probably the best experience I'd had in leadership up until the times at Deutsche Bank was Michael Omochia and John Cotter. Pretty extraordinary. Allowed that entrepreneurial spirit to just be to run wild a little bit in terms of what can you come up with and what do you want to do, and then how do you execute it. So being given this unusual freedom to come up with ideas, build them, and get them out the door. While still being, they never took undue risk. Then also the way that they led and managed people. You'll recall this. I think Omo and John used to talk about the fact that they exported 30% of the floor every year offshore. And so being able to tap into these extraordinary global offshore opportunities is just wonderful. And one of the things I learned from that experience and seeing them do that is that they don't, you can sort of get addicted to good people. And so you don't want to let them go because they're instrumental to your business. And they never held people back. They always pushed them forward. And it's quite rare.
Yeah, I think in the Deutsche, I don't think anyone in that era would not mention Omo in some shape or form, his influence on that floor, sort of mentoring he gave to various people. Yeah,
absolutely.
So I don't doubt it at all. Okay, now a couple of pivotal moments. So when you sort of look back and go, that turned the dial, that decision or that moment?
There's probably a couple. One is the Deutsche moment, talking about exporting people, and one of the Deutsche leaders had been walking along the trading floor, sort of just, I guess, I'd never seen it before, but asking people if they were interested in going offshore. John walked right past me because I'd literally been back from maternity leave for maybe 2 days. Gotcha. And my kids are only 12 months apart. So quite rightly, thought that's probably a bit of an ask. But heard him do it and said, actually, I'd be really interested in that. And so having the opportunity to head to London with Deutsche Bank with a 6-month-old and an 18-month-old was just, which completely pivotal. It would just, it
Wow.
opened up new things. It was just great challenges. It was seeing, just new ways of doing things, new businesses in Deutsche Bank. So it was pretty extraordinary.
At that age, you don't have to worry about school at least.
No, that's right. Well, that was that was our logic. Again, I've probably had some unusual logic along the way. But the logic was that the kids are so little, they're not going to notice. It's quite different to uprooting a child that's 8 and 9 years old or 15 and 16 years old. And so it felt actually like the right time to do it.
Yeah.
And poor old James, my husband, I don't know if he agrees with me because he's the one that had to do the heavy lifting once we got there.
That sounds like a
with
great
no
outcome.
support network or anything.
Yeah. I remember the dealing room Deutsche in London was enormous too.
Yeah. Oh, fantastically.
It was like
huge.
a little village.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And with super tall ceilings. It was just a different environment.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this episode. If you want to learn more about alternative assets, there's a book here you can read, How You Grow Your Wealth with Alternative Assets. Now back to the episode. Now a bit more personal, driving to the why. So when you get up in the morning, what gets you excited? What drives you in business?
Challenges, taking risks, like personal risks, that really just sort of, and I guess you saw this a lot at Deutsche Bank. You saw it I saw it in sort of my time at CBA as well, sort of running remediation. I see it at Soul Pats. Being able to affect change, being able to take on big challenges with big risks associated with it, often personal risk, and complex challenges. Gotcha. And so I find that really energizing.
Gotcha.
And if you can then do that with a team that you're working with, then it just makes it even more fun because you sort of get up in the morning, there's massive challenges during the day. I think I heard along the years somebody referred to it as you get up in the morning and then you smash through walls. And so being able to do that, but then also having a team with you and around you that shares that same passion. Love it.
Yeah. I think that just the fact you would use the word challenge, because I know often actual challenge means it's actually a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get
absolutely.
up and there's a problem that you need to fix or solve or make decisions on, which is the other way to look at it. It is a challenge, right? It's actually quite fun.
It's a lot of fun.
You turn up to work every day and it was perfect. You go, well, what am I doing here?
That's
it's
right.
wasting my life.
That's right.
Yeah. Good on you.
We had a sort of a phrase when we were running this remediation program at CBA and the team, we sort of observed it after a little while and then realized you had like 5 really tricky decisions to make every day and 2 impossible decisions to make every week. And so that was the challenge. And so just continually smashing through the walls to get it done was just really satisfying.
And sort of jumping into that a little bit, sort of off script, is you would have got quite a few decisions wrong because it's a fact of life, right? Yeah. So what do you do after that, do you think?
You fix them. It's another challenge. Sometimes, hopefully, it's not another challenge. Yeah. I tend to try and get as much information as you can really quickly, but then make a fast decision. Don't take 3 months to do it because you don't have the time. Yeah. So make a fast decision and then assess it really quickly. And if you got it wrong, then adapt or unwind it if you can.
Yeah, it's good. Bob Mansfield is the chairman of iPartners, ex sort of quite successful CEO of various companies, and his view exactly the same. You got to make decisions. If I turn up at 2 board meetings with the same problem, I know the response I'm going to get. We'll just make a decision. Sort of the view is don't let it drag. Yeah, just do something about it.
Just do something about it, and then at least you'll have an outcome that you can manage, and then you find most of the time you'll get it right. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, now you'll be able to answer this pretty well, right? Given your family background. We talk about entrepreneurs. People work in large organisations and make the leap, maybe less so from your parents. It sounds like they went from the bottom up as entrepreneurs and just kept going. Yeah. But a lot of people jump from big organisations to become entrepreneurs.
Like you.
So I guess I'm in that space. But what sort of advice would you give those types of personalities and people?
Back yourself.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with the right people. Surround yourself with the right sort of advice and relationships that can actually help you achieve what you want to do. Don't feel like it's all on your shoulders. It will be like it will definitely feel like that because you're an entrepreneur that you've started off something by yourself. Yeah. But it is the thing that most impresses me about people. It's in some ways quite easy to be a senior leader in a large organization. But to really take that punt and really back yourself when it's just, your idea and sort of your initial support is one of the most impressive things you can see.
Yeah, totally agree. Speaking of a young fella earlier in the week, I know I'm old when I'm completely young fella. It's like he's sort of late 30s, but he's looking at taking a leap to set up his own fund and various things. And one thing I said to him, earn your salary as long as you can. So the minute you jump, make sure you've got all the building blocks in place,
Exactly.
do it on the weekends, get things set up, earn the salary as long as you can. And then once you leap, you kind of can hopefully hit the ground running.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, a couple of things, bumps in the road. When have you sort of tripped over?
I think probably if I reflect on it, I wonder sometimes if I have selective memory because things go wrong, and you adapt and you change and you get over it and you learn a lot of stuff when things go wrong. So that I don't feel like there's been anything like of massive significance that's gone wrong. Probably one of the things that is on a more personal note that I haven't done beautifully is the work-life balance.
Gotcha.
And, I mentioned that my husband did all the heavy lifting in London. That was quite a busy time. And so it was pretty rare that, the family time wasn't as great as it should have been.
Yeah.
Realising that took me quite a long time. And it actually I was working for National Australia Bank at the time, and I was travelling down to Melbourne every week and would spend 5 days there. Yeah. And you don't realise when your children sort of get to an age where they understand time and they can, ask questions and they'll wait for the response. And they said to me at the time, how long are you going to do this for? I didn't think they'd really remember or understand the time frame. So I told them 6 months. And then pretty much on the day, they said, how long are you going to do this for? I'm like, better sort this out. So focusing on that a lot more.
Gotcha.
Again, it took a little while because the pressures in a large organisation are high. One of the things that I just love about this role at the moment is that this organisation works hard but really smart. You don't have a meeting culture. You don't have any wasted time. So that work-life balance is a lot better. And in fact, I had one of my kids say to me not long ago, they said, Mom, this is my favourite job for you.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Which speaks volumes in terms of your ability to be present with your children and find that work-life balance.
Yeah, it's great. On that meetings front, not a meetings culture, how do you solve that? Do you is there any instruction or it just builds on itself?
I think sometimes in the larger organisations that I've been in, it seems to be there. And so to break it is really challenging. You can have sort of some rules with your own team that says, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Just wander by my desk. You don't need to stick a meeting in the diary. And so that can help a little bit, but you can't influence sort of the broader organisation that's putting it in your diary. So to find somewhere where it's not prevalent, like my counsel to anyone that's sort of in an organisation where you don't have a meeting culture is keep a really close eye on it because once it starts creeping in, you can't get rid of it. So don't let it start, or it's hard to get rid of it.
Yeah. It's, I had a discussion an hour or so ago. Somebody said, have to have a meeting. I said, I've got 3 emails right now, people asking me to have meetings. And I kind of went a bit off piece. And I said, look, meetings are great to have a chat, but the only thing that's going to turn the dial is a human doing something about it.
That's right.
Actually taking action.
That's right.
Writing something down and moving this forward. So I'm happy to have a meeting, but I want to know exactly what it's about and what's the action that's going to come from it. Or don't have the meeting and just we'll go and do something.
That's right. Let me know what you're about to do.
Yeah.
And I'll comment if I need to, but otherwise just crack on.
Yeah. Hey, if you're enjoying this, please leave a review. It's really important to us. We're trying to build momentum around education, and better reviews will get more people coming and listening. It's interesting because a lot of people see booking the meeting as a solution. It's not a solution, right? That's
Suddenly something's ticked off the to-do list.
Exactly.
Nothing's actually happened.
Okay, key learnings for you. Less meetings, but aside from key learnings for you.
Key learnings are just, back yourself, take risk. Don't necessarily stick with the norm.
Yeah.
People reflect that sort of look at the career trajectory that I've had, which I've loved. I get attracted to an opportunity by the challenge, by the people, by the environment, and that has been seriously non-linear.
Yeah.
People also say that a different way. Say it's not strategic. And sure, that might be true. If you're an eye surgeon, you probably need to be linear. I don't need to be linear. I need to pick up as much experience as I can so that the next challenge that comes my way, you've got a bit more sort of armor and artillery to be able to tackle that challenge.
Yeah. Well, the key, everyone's different, right?
Yeah.
You come across so many different personalities in career, and the younger generation are different to the older generation. Unless you've had lots of different experiences and non-linear experiences,
Yeah.
difficult to develop a rapport with a broad audience.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, a couple of top tips for business. If you're looking back at yourself a number of years ago, what would you say? You've already mentioned work-life balance, which I think is
probably.
critical.
Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yep.
Back yourself. Take risks. Don't listen to no. Use no as a motivator. If someone says no, just go, really? Let's go. We'll figure it out. And also say yes. When the opportunities come up and they seem interesting, then jump into them, because that's sometimes when the magic happens.
Yeah, a lot of people I've chatted to, it's not taking the risk is what they regret.
Yeah, exactly.
Go, why didn't I do that?
You don't want to die wondering, and very rarely is there any significant downside. And if there is, you learn a lot from it.
Yeah. So often I hear about the people becoming entrepreneurs. I go, worst case, just go back and do the job you're doing. They're going to rehire you.
Yeah,
you probably get paid more.
Yeah. And you've had an experience.
And you've got experience. Yeah. Okay, definition of success. What does it look like for you?
Definition of success.
Business and personal life.
Business and personal. So on the business front, being able to make a difference to an organization is successful. Building teams and seeing people grow and develop in their roles and develop a passion for it, and to see them, talk about being addicted to people before, making sure that they can reach their career aspirations, whatever they are, and it might not be with you, and that's okay. But helping them do that, I think, is really important.
Again, you mentioned OMO earlier on career. So when you're talking to people about their career, you've got to be happy for them to leave.
Yes.
But my view, I always give the feedback of, if I don't think it's a good career move, you've got to tell them and say, I don't know if that's a good decision, but make your own decision.
Yeah.
But if it's a no-brainer, they're taking a step up outside the organisation, the right thing to do is say, on your way, get going. That's a good career opportunity.
I couldn't agree more. And it just, you don't lose touch with those people.
Sure.
You may well work with them again when the opportunity arises. They've gone off, they're doing something they're passionate about, they're learning, and they're becoming even more capable people.
Yeah.
But the worst thing you can do to someone when you are addicted to them because they're a fantastic person in your team is hold them back.
Yeah, I agree. Even our partners only been going 8 years, but we've got an awesome external alumni now.
Yeah, right.
That refer deals to us and refer clients, and the connections it makes pretty powerful.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, we've talked about sort of success, legacy. This is a bit more personal. What do you think about the legacy you're leaving behind?
Well, there's a legacy that I hope I'm leaving behind.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
So if I think about my family and my children, seeing them develop, sort of thinking about sort of where I came from, where my mum came from, where my grandmother came from, and similarly on my father's side, and seeing my children develop their own resilience. You hate what they have to go through to be resilient, but then seeing them develop it, seeing them develop their curiosity, seeing them develop their own internal fire, that is just such a precious and amazing thing to watch.
Yeah.
From a people front at work, again, seeing people sort of develop and go off to reach their career aspirations is something that I hope is happening, and I hope that there's a legacy element to that. And then the last one is making a difference to the organisation that you're in and leaving it better than you found it.
Sure.
And hopefully fitter, faster, better. So those are the things that are important to me from a legacy point of view. Hopefully I achieve it.
Sounds like you already are. Now, run us a couple of quick questions. This first one I like is your first job. And when I ask this, it can be any age from 2 years age onwards. What was the first job?
The first job that I was excited by was I remember complaining to my mom because I think pocket money was $1 or something, and I had a girlfriend at school who was getting $30 a week pocket money. I couldn't believe it, right? And so, excuse me, Mum said, "Well, right, get a job." And so I ended up being a waitress down at the First Fleet Bistro in the Rocks, age 13, $2.50 an hour. And I just thought it was and I loved the job. It was fast paced being a waitress. It was busy because it was a tourist area, and then, sort of made sort of $25 a week.
I see you're making still less than your mate was getting it for free.
Exactly. So I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, good on you. That's pretty young to get going, that sort of job.
Yeah, well, I was tall.
Yeah.
And they probably weren't that focused on sort of,
birth certificates and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
What motivates you most as a person?
Challenges, I think,
Yep.
and risks, and being able to jump in and get things done.
Perfect.
Definitely.
Tips for driving long-term wealth.
Understand what you're investing in. If
agree.
it's investment, don't do it if you don't understand it. That's one of the things I love about Soul Patts and their philosophy.
Yeah.
You hear our chairman and our CEO talking about, they come across a lot of opportunities. If they don't understand them, why would you do them?
So true.
And then and understand the people that you're dealing with as well. There is an element of trust, but you need to do your due diligence on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of this podcast is education.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about you got to educate yourself on a trade. If you're not going to put in time to educate it, don't invest.
Don't do it.
Don't understand it, don't invest.
Yeah.
Get an advisor if it's not your thing.
That's right. And even when you get an advisor, you need to be you need to be selective about who's advisor. They need to understand you and what you're about, and then you need to work with them to understand it rather than just relying on it.
Totally agree. Biggest mistakes, sort of the contra question, but what do you see biggest mistakes in investing?
Maybe expecting things too soon, looking for that sugar hit. And not sort of thinking about the ability to compound wealth and the compounding factor of different investments. It's just it's a dangerous space, but it's also sort of you understand how people get enamored with it and sort of wooed by it.
Yeah, the old get rich quick.
Yeah,
Happens to some people,
actually.
but it's very, very rare.
Yeah, that's right. And yet everybody focuses on that. Oh, well, look what just happened to him.
Yeah, exactly. When you're not working, how do you spend your time?
I spend time with my family, with my kids, with my husband, with my mum and sister, and then really importantly, I've got a really strong group of friends from high school.
Really?
Great. Really close. And I think no one makes you laugh harder than the kids that you grew up with.
Yeah, it's true. They know everything, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They know everything. And you probably spend too much time reminiscing, but we do have quite a chuckle.
What about sport, exercise?
Sport and exercise I probably don't do as much as I should. But we were talking earlier about getting up in the morning and exercising. That would be my sweet spot, but sort of changed the habit to spend longer in bed drinking coffee, which is probably not great.
That's all right. You should get any coffee yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Really appreciate your time. Now, if everyone is interested in connecting with Jaki, you can connect on LinkedIn. And we'll include the link in the show notes. But thank you for coming on.
Oh, thanks so much, Travis. Really enjoyed it.
Hey, if you're enjoying this, please leave a review. It's really important to us. We're trying to build momentum around education, and better reviews will get more people coming and listening.